Hello, my Patreon friends. Welcome. Well, dogs are all excited. They're even excited. Okay, this is what you're going to be paying for. This is what your $2 access is going to be paying for you. Volumes of great information to help empower you and change your life. Why? Because, okay, this week on YouTube, if you didn't watch my video about freezers and our array and how we run all of this stuff off the grid here, all of our stuff during the summer on that little 2 kilowatt array with our 16 6-volt batteries, amazing. We can do it, and we've already had a lot of questions. Well, this is the thing. I can't go through all those questions, but you people have just paid for access to more knowledge and more beef. More beef. So this is the more beef. This video is going to talk about sizing your solar array, your system for your off-grid house. And you can even use these calculations for grid tie and backup systems. That's why you're here. I know you people want to learn. And we're going to be doing some math today. But it's easy math. So let's go inside. And I do want to show you, this is our 2 kilowatt array. And it does, especially in the peak of summer when we have 100% sun, run everything, including man tools and freezers, and you got it. All right, let's go inside and do some math so you friends understand how to size your system. Okay, I'm standing in front of my Magnum Sine inverter. How did we decide what inverter size to get for our home? Well, this is where the math comes in. Number one, you got to size your home for the appropriate size inverter. This is what I want you to go and invest in today, right now. See this? This is called a kilowatt meter. And all you do is you plug it into the wall and you plug your appliance in there, and it's got awesome stuff. It's got your amps, your volts, your wattage, everything on here. This is going to help you figure out how much every electrical appliance, from your computer to your phones to your refrigerator, whatever you use, to your coffee pot, uses. Very, very important. Okay? It's going to give you a real accurate assessment, because in order to determine your inverter size, you are going to have to figure out the peak load or the peak wattage of every single appliance that you have right now in your house. You're going to add it all up, and that's where that kilowatt meter really comes into play. Accuracy. You got a refrigerator, you got washer dryer, you got a radio, you got computers, okay, good. The list goes on and on. Add them up, because that total number is going to give you the number which is going to help you size your inverter, because you want the right size for all those appliances you're going to be running. And now you're not going to be running them all at the same time, but that's why you have to use that big peak load number so that inverter can handle all of it. All right, now here's just a starry thing. Me and Mr. Hilder did this many years ago, a couple of years before we even moved off the grid. Now, we recognized that we wanted to change the way that we were living, which meant we weren't going to bring all of those appliances with us. We wanted to go off the grid to change the way we used electricity, to be more sustainable, to be more independent and less dependent on electricity. So we do have a very large inverter, probably too big for us. It was a good investment though, because bigger is okay. But let's just put it this way. Hopefully, you will be having the same philosophy when you decide to go off grid and change the way that you're living. Because why are we doing this? To be more independent. We don't want to be dependent on electricity. But, you know, if you're a person of convenience, and you could be, and you want the washer and the dryer and the refrigerator and all your little doodads, be smart about it. Add it up and get the right size inverter. And the inverter is not the make or break expense issue here. The heart of your investment is going to be in your batteries. That's it. The inverters run, I think right now Magnum inverters are running about $600 to $800 depending. Great brand names out there. We've got Xantrex, we've got Morningstar, we've got Magnum, and I think Trace. So real high-end stuff. Don't buy any Japanese crap or eBay crap. You'll see when you start doing your research, there are just some brand names. And you are buying an inverter to run a house. Not an RV, not a little off-grid cabin. This is not playtime. This is serious. So size it appropriately. Okay, the next thing that you want to do. Okay, the next thing is daily energy use. The next we're going to find the energy used in a day. We're going to figure out how long each electronic device will run in hours during the day. And then what you want to do is you're going to multiply that number by 1.5. So I'm looking at my light bulbs. Say they're energy hogs. They're 120 watts. And I'm going to run them for 5 hours. So you take 120 watts times 5 hours. Okay. And then you look at, okay, so you got a computer and your printer. Say it's 300 watts. You're going to be running that for 3 hours. So it's 300 times 3 or 4, whatever, how many hours of that daily use. Then you take it and times it. You multiply it by 1.5. And what you get then is an idea of your watt hours used during the day. You need to know that number. Then back out here to the battery boxes is in here. You want to also figure out days of autonomy, which means how many days of energy do you want stored in those batteries? It could be anywhere from 2 days or 5 days. How much energy, how many days of energy do you want out of that battery bank? It's another number that you want to write down. Okay, and then finally, we're going to talk about battery bank capacity, because this is where we're finally going to calculate the minimum battery amp hour capacity. So, I hope you're writing this down, because remember that number we just talked about, that wattage hour per day? You are going to take that number and your days of autonomy, however long you want that energy in that battery bank stored. Say it was 3. You're going to take those two numbers and then you're going to multiply it by 2 and convert the kilowatt results into amp hours. So this is done then by dividing by the battery voltage. And I know it sounds confusing, but it isn't. And maybe I'll write this out for you guys to make it a little bit easier. But it's a great formula. Just say, example, you want a battery bank that lasts for 3 days. And you don't want to recharge. And you had figured out that you were using 1.8 kilowatts a day, okay? Because you converted your wattage into kilowatts, which is really easy. And I'll write this down for you. So you take the 1.8 kilowatts, you times it by 3, and then you times it by 2, and you get 10.8 kilowatts. So this is the energy we need from the batteries. And then you can actually convert it into amp hours. And then, then you decide if you want a 12-volt system or a 24-volt system or a 48-volt system. Okay. This is kind of the meat of trying to figure out your battery bank. Okay. Watch for me writing a little article after this on it. But it can be done super easy. You don't need to have the experts try to figure this out for you. And then this gives you the freedom then to start looking for your battery bank and your inverter and actually your solar panels. Because this is the thing with the solar panels. The solar panels really kind of are a no-brainer. And people, once you start, I remember I started researching, oh my gosh, monocrystalline and polycrystalline and amorphous and wattages and, okay. After a whole year of doing all this, my brain kind of going numb, and then when we came out here and got the system up, I thought the solar panels were, that was just no-brainer. You can just buy, there's so many good solar panels out there and good companies, and buy more. Buy more, because solar panels now have come down immensely in price. Immensely. That's going to be the cheapest part of your system. So buy more. But the beef is going to be in that battery bank and sizing that correctly, because that's where all your stored energy is going to be. Okay, and I'm going to have more tutorials on this, but this is just enough to whet your palate. And again, this is what you're going to be getting on Patreon. So, you know, bring people in. If you know anybody else who really wants to learn about this stuff, there's going to be more than just solar. Oh, there's going to be so much. But for you people who are really interested in solar, and remember, you can use this application also for grid tied and backup systems, you know. So, and the other thing, oh, I don't know where I put the kilowatt, but the kilowatt meter, go to my website, starryhilder.com. This kind of helps me out. If you go there, I have that kilowatt meter on my off-grid store. Click on it, and if you buy it through there, I think it's really cheap. It's like 10 bucks. I get like 50 cents. You know, Amazon, oh, big spenders, Amazon, yeah. But it does help me out. You know, I get 50 cents here, 50 cents there, and then at the end of the month, they're sending me a $24 check, right? You know, it helps. Okay, there you go. First tutorial. Enjoy. And if you have any questions, but I will be writing an article on this too, so watch that on Patreon soon. Okay, God bless.